good thing. No need. Can hear you. No one can hear you. Right. Well, hopefully you can hear me now, right? Yes. Yes. Is it still muted? No, there's no way that it's still muted. No, right? Okay, it's fine now. Okay, good. Okay, anyway, what was I talking about? Anyway, yes, I was saying, you guys missed it. So for the plan for today, I'm just going to be live building just the main body. This whole dragon section, I'm not going to live build just because number one, it's very repetitive. Number two, just take a long time. I've already started working on that. So you guys preview, here's what like the part of the neck and head are looking like for the actual dragon portion of that. It's all bendy and flexible and everything. So that's pretty cool. And there's two different options for the head, two different head choices that you have. This is the one that's on the box art. This is the one that I'm going with. The other one looks pretty cool too. So yeah. And so the other thing that I was saying before you guys could actually hear me was that this, I don't know if this will be necessarily a very lengthy build, because it's a very large build, but it has the whole pre-built inner frame. So that takes a lot of the time. Like normally that would take time to put all that together, but we don't have all that to put together. So there is still a lot here. I mean, there's still a lot of parts, but with the core of the frame already built for us, that does, you know, cut down the time a little bit. So let's see, S looks to be, and yeah, as far as the head goes, this is all parts for the head, and it's a lot of parts because there is like 3 different options for like the headdress that we've got here. And let's see, L, transparent yellow. Got the transparent yellow part for the eyes somewhere. And I'm wondering if it's not here. The part might have snuck off into a different portion of the box, and so we might have to come back. We'll assemble maybe some parts of the head, and we might have to come back to the head if the transparent yellow part for the eyes is not here. So we might have to come back to that. Let me set this here for a second. I'll build as much of this as I can. The organizer box. Let's see. Give me a second. The organizer box that I use is not perfectly sealed, you know, between the sections. So if the box gets, you know, shaken around a bit or something, sometimes little parts like to find their way into other spots, which looks like it might be the case. So we'll build some of this, and then we might have to just come back to the head here a little bit later. That's fine to finish it off. But how are you guys all doing today? This is a pretty wild kit. It's huge. The box is huge. So actually, I got this as a sample, which is an all-white box. So there's nothing on the box art. And then I took a peek inside just like to see what it was, and I was like, oh, it's that huge kit. And then later on, when I went to record like the unboxing for it, I knew basically what it was, but I hadn't looked into it like really in kind of any more detail. So when I went into the unboxing, I just kind of unboxed it like, yeah, I got this sample. It's just in a blank white box. I don't really know what exactly it is, so just unboxed it like that. It's like, oh, okay, it's this and this and this. And then like literally like that day or the day after or something like that, after I recorded the unboxing, like the kit arrived here. So we have it, and it was in stock. I think it's sold out now, but then it was I think it's sold out. You guys correct me if I'm wrong. and I think we're meant to be getting more in, if I remember correctly. But yeah, it's just kind of funny that it had like this blank box that I didn't really know much about it, but then it just arrived. And so the box for like the actual kit, once that came in, everything was pretty much the same, except that instead of a white box, it just has an actual like full art box. Let's see, that one's also this one. And there's going to be a lot of this that I'm not going to be able to put together without that eye part first. So anyway, I got to see pretty shortly after that what like the actual kit looks like, the box art anyway. It's pretty cool. Pretty wild kit. There's like just a ton of stuff in here with like a massive kit. Just based on like kind of like a size comparison, it seems like to me that it's probably what are those parts? Oh, that's this. Like the size is probably going to be something around like 1/72nd scale in terms of like comparing it like to Gunpla. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's loose on there. I'm gonna put a little glue on that. I'm just going to not chance it. Billy Burns, what's up? How's it going? Petite Cherie, hello Zach, hope you're doing well. Hi, I am doing pretty well. Thank you. Good to see you. And I'm going to assume that the other one of those also probably needs some glue too. Let's see. So anyway, it looks like a cool kit. I think it'll be pretty impressive here once we get it all put together. That's a little bit loose. Kind of one of those where you don't really need glue, but it's probably a good idea. And it's a little piece, and I don't want to be having to track that down if it falls onto the floor. So there's those bits, which go onto the back side of the head. Oh, and they are actually like, are they actually slightly different? No. R1, R2. Well, the top parts are different. Oops. Oh, oops. I hope I don't have that upside down. Well, it's the part that's upside down. I can easily switch. It's not the part that I glued, fortunately. But it should go, this one's upside down. It should go this way. Like that. So then, let's see. Oh, then it needs to like attach onto something here too. Okay. That attaches onto there. Oh, so it's gonna like hang loose there on that part. Okay. And that hangs on to like the back of the head there. This way. On this part, which is going to go on the top of the head later on, once we find that missing eye part. That'll go on there like that. Okay. Anyway, put this other part here together first. What glue are you using? Oh, so the glue is just Tamiya extra thin cement. I don't know for sure, like the property of this kit, if this plastic is like ABS or polystyrene, because like that thin cement doesn't really work for ABS. But for my purposes for this, I mean, I just want that part to just stay in there a little bit tighter. So even if it's not, even if it's ABS, which normally that glue like doesn't really work well for, the glue will work well enough for what I need it to do. I think that's right? Yes, this is one of our headdress options here. But otherwise, I mean, like if you've got like ABS glue, that'd be a good bet. Or just like any other kind of glue, super glue, or whatever else. Just regular hobby glue. Where do I have my... I've got like testers. Oh, yeah, this one. Just something like this too. Could work. Something like that. Mm-hmm. It's kind of tight in there. This kit looks like it comes with a lot of option parts. Yeah, so for the head, it's got 3 different options. And then for like the headdress, like I'm talking about. And then for the dragon head, it comes with 2 different options for the dragon head. And then let's see what else. I think not necessarily a whole lot much else other than that. We'll see. Even the weapons like are sort of minimal. But I like there's a lot that you can do with them, I guess, because like the skirt parts of this kit can be made into like a phoenix sort of flying mecha bird. So not only do you have the dragon, but you also have like basically like this big mecha phoenix that you can make too as another option by like swapping around the parts on the backpack. So yeah, there is a lot that you can do with it, but it's not it's like a little bit different from necessarily like coming with a lot of stuff, if you know what I mean. How's this fitting on here, or do I even have the right part? It is the right part. That's like that, or is it? What is that part? Hang on. Oh, is it like that? No, what is this? I put the wrong part there. Where's the other part of this? It seems like it should be this. Okay, it is. I just I couldn't figure out the orientation of that part. It's like, okay, it looks a little different in the manual. It's like just a slight difference in like the appearance of it was really throwing me off. It's kind of funny when you notice that. You don't really see it too often, and it's kind of hard to notice, but sometimes, every so often, you notice there's like just like the shape of the part just differs slightly from how it looks in the manual. And I don't know if it's just like they changed it, what got changed first, or kind of where that discrepancy kind of occurred. But for whatever reason, there's a weird discrepancy. There's another part. Where does that go? Okay, that goes on top of this here. Missed that part. Man, not having those eyes to put there really kind of puts a damper on our building the head here. Oh my. Oh, this is kind of weird. Interesting. I'll have to check the manual again to see which one of these head option parts, which one's actually on the front of the box. Because usually when it comes to like option parts like this, I just like to go with whatever's on the box, at least for like review purposes. Oops, I think it's this one that's on the top, isn't it? Let me see. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, I am wrong. It's this one. This one with like these hanging bits here like that. So you got that, or like this like flying V, or this kind of head crest here. So you got some options. So, all right, that's there. Let me take a quick dig through the parts here and see if I can't find, I don't see that eye part anywhere. Probably, I would think. You guys just seeing what, like the top of my head? Okay, fortunately not. I would think it's just like in an adjacent section. Let me see. And it's clear yellow, which actually on that note, let me make sure that I know what that runner looked like. Because there's not a lot of clear yellow. What was it? L2 for L2. Oh, you know what? Yeah, that might be on the flame runner. Let me see. Which that might be the reason why it's not cut out. Because it's possible I haven't cut it out from the flame runner. Where even is this? Runner L2. Hello. There's runner L times 2. Where's it? Okay, it is a flame runner. Okay, so that's probably why I don't have it cut out yet, and that probably means that it's right here. Haha. Nice. Should have made that connection. Like, wait, there's no other clear yellow parts like in basically anything else other than the flame effects. So probably just means that I didn't cut it out. Cool. Is this kit from some type of media or just a model kit? I don't think that it's from anything. But then again, when it comes, well, like I think it's based on like an actual like mythological something. But I don't think it's from like a game or an anime or something like that. As far as I know. But yeah, I have heard when like I've reviewed like other kits like this where I didn't know of it being from anything, and I've heard like in the comments from people like, yeah, that's from like whatever, some like Chinese like mobile game or something like that. It's like, well, you know, obviously that's why I was not familiar with it. So, I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe not. Obviously, it's not like it's obvious that I don't play Chinese mobile games, but you know. Got that faceplate there. Now we can actually put the head together. It's going to be much nicer. And it looks like I should have put that gold part on there first. Possibly, or maybe not. It just kind of fits over the top of there, doesn't it? Fortunately. So that's like the main head here, like that. The white part gives it a little sort of like a skull sort of look there for the face, doesn't it? And then the headdress part will just fit on top of there. Like that. There we go. Cool. All right. So there's that. And our extra head option parts, gonna put those to the side. Very pokey. Ouch. Okay. All right. Then let's move on. I'm glad that we were able to solve that. To the torso. And that means it's time for that frame, which we need to disassemble. Just gonna take off the arms. There's not a whole lot of parts here for the frame, it would seem. For the torso, is what I meant to say. right. Motor Nuclear Kits Mechs ended up as an animation or a game, right? Yeah, something for the Motor Nuclear ones. Yeah, there's some kind of source material for that. How's your day, Sensei? It's so far pretty good. Haven't really done a whole lot other than live streaming. I was on the live stream with Adam, and now live streaming here again with you guys. And then after this, another live stream. No, I'm just kidding. No more after this. After this, I've got something to finish up and to post for you guys, which is regarding the new contest. You guys have been very patiently waiting for an update on what the next contest is going to be, and I'm ready to announce it to you. So I hope that you're ready to play. Pretty excited about it. I think it's going to be cool. I think it's going to be fun. So hope that you guys can enter. Hope that you're looking forward to that. I would give you a hint, but I already gave a little bit of a hint on the live stream earlier this morning. I mean, and then it's not like if I gave you like a really obvious hint right now, I mean, you'd have like a few hours head start because like the announcement's going to be coming out later today. So I could just tell you guys what it is, and then you'd have an advantage. That'd be a nice perk for those of you watching the live stream here. So maybe I will at the end of the live stream give you some incentive to stay to the end of the stream. But alternatively, if you can't, or you just don't want to, the announcement will be later today about the next contest. So stay tuned, or not. It's up to you. Either way, you'll get the news. And then when you do, I hope you'll be all like, oh, that's cool. I want to try that. All right. So coming along here on this, but in other news, I think I've told you guys lately on like different live streams or something, but I think I've mentioned about it, that my family, my kids and I, my wife too, all of us, we've been kind of going through watching the Marvel movies. And for my kids, it's their first time ever seeing the series. Obviously not for my wife and I. We lived it. We lived through the, what would you call it? I don't know, like the Marvel era of cinematic history. Going to the theater once a year or multiple times a year to see every single new Marvel movie to keep up. Anyway, so now we're going through watching them with our kids. So they're their first time seeing the movies. And we just watched Infinity War, and then what's the one right after Infinity War that we also just watched? Ant-Man. Yeah, so Infinity War, which is like really like high stakes. It's like the main story, right? And it's just like so stressful. It's like they almost get Thanos, but then he does the snap, and then after that, like just right after that movie, I feel like you really need to like, if I was just not like trying to just watch them in release order with my kids, if I was just wanting to rewatch them, I would just back to back Infinity War and Endgame. But since we're watching them in release order, we have to kind of like have our vegetables too, and have to watch Ant-Man in between, which I love. Like Ant-Man's great. It's the second one, Ant-Man and the Wasp. And then next we do also have Captain Marvel as well. So it's like before we can get to Endgame, anyway, is what I'm saying. So yeah, it kind of feels like we have to eat our vegetables before we can just get to Endgame. But it's fun. Where's that part? I'm like missing a couple of pieces here that should be here in this section, I think. It's once again the case of a couple of pieces that have wandered off. Still yet to enter any contests, huh? Still remember seeing Iron Man for the first time. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't have like a vivid memory of it, but I mean, just like remembering that time, right, in history, where, you know, you're seeing all the new movies as they're coming out, and staying to see the after the credits scene and all that, right? And every single time, without fail, there'd always be like a couple people that like don't know or whatever. It'd be like some like old couple that are there at the movie theater that just like leave as soon as the credits start. Like, no, because they just don't know. But there would always be those people. I mean, who knows? Maybe maybe they already watched it in a theater and they're on their second viewing already. Who knows? But there was always some that would just skedaddle right away. All right, so one thing is I've got this part here, which is left over. I either missed it somewhere or it's in the wrong section, which I feel like is probably oh, I did miss it somewhere. There it is. Okay. Right here in the back. And there's a little part right here on the top that I'm missing. It's got to be here in a different section. We'll find it when the time is right. But for now, let's get these parts turned around, get our head on here. It's like dangly bits are kind of annoying. There we go. There's our torso and head. They're like a little too dangly, and then yeah, just like falling out. Obviously, if you shake it around, they're gonna fall out. This side I also noticed was like a little bit looser than the other side, but okay. What's next in the manual? The skirt armor. Okay, so the skirt waist section has like the main skirt armor and then all these kind of parts that attach onto it, which are the attachment parts I already built because I was worried that I was gonna like mix up some of those parts. So just to avoid any confusion, I went ahead and just put those parts together off camera. Everything else for the waist section will be here. My ass was a wreck over Spider-Man. Spider-Man dying or getting ghosted. Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone cried, but I mean, yeah, it's like, especially, I mean, I don't know. So like I said, in the case of my wife and I, like when we experienced like the Marvel movies, you know, we were seeing them like when they were coming out in theaters. So it's like once a year or once every 6 months or something like that for the next installment. So like by the time we got to like the end of Infinity War, you know, it's like 10 years, probably not quite that long, almost like leading up to that, right? So it was a lot. But in my kids' case, we've like we started watching them I don't know, within the past 4 months or something like that. I think it's been that we've been watching these. So I mean, I don't know what maybe like watching over a longer time period would maybe make you more like emotionally invested, or seeing them all kind of more recently would make you more emotionally invested. I'm not sure. What do you think? It's like, would that be more of an emotional impact like for my kids who have seen them all very recently, or more so like, or like my wife and I when we saw them, seeing them more spaced out over a long period of time? I don't know. This dragon part here is pretty cool. That goes here on the front skirt section like that. I bet you were thinking that was going to be a sticker or something, but nope. Well, that's not it either. Let's see. Nope. 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 Am I winning? Yeah, I think so. If we can get this kit knocked out today, at least this part, I'll still have to finish the dragon part. I'll be feeling pretty good, and then I'll work on this review next week. I've got other stuff to work on for reviews. I've got a good amount of stuff like built and ready to review, and then a good amount of stuff that's like in the queue to build as well. So I'm pretty well like stocked up on that stuff at the moment, trying to like get ahead a little bit, or at least like gain some ground in terms of just like kits that need to be reviewed and all that, so that then I can also try to get in some more like building and custom work and stuff like that. I'm having a itchy nose spell again all of a sudden. I don't know if I really like this front skirt section here. Attaches onto this peg, which is pretty small. I kind of don't like how small and simple that connection is. I'm a bit worried about that. Hopefully that won't give us any issues. Allergy season. I don't know if it's not like allergy season. Like I do have allergies, but it seems to, and for whatever reason, sometimes it seems to just happen like when I'm live streaming too. I don't know if it's like just a weird thing. I'll get something, I don't know, or just like got like a tickle on my nose, something. But then I like try not to, and it always tends to happen like during a live stream, and then I'm like self-conscious about it then too. All right, and that's our back skirt. So the front skirt and back skirt are pretty cool, just in terms of like their design and part separation. Pretty simple there, though. I mean, not a whole lot of parts there. And that's what I was thinking. So I was mentioning earlier about like how, because like the inner frame is all like pre-built. What is that part? I think it's this one here. Or the opposite of that, this one. Because the inner frame is all pre-built, that is going to make the build go a little bit faster. And then also the fact that, I mean, it's not a super complex build. Like we recently built the Lubu kit, the motor nuclear kit. And just to be clear, this is not a motor nuclear kit. It is very similar in terms of like its style, right? But it's not a motor nuclear kit. But being that it looks sort of similar, you would think that it'd be like similarly complex, but this is actually a much simpler build overall, I think, in comparison. And there's still a lot here just because it's a big kit, it's a lot of parts, it's got all this kind of ornamental stuff, it's got a big backpack, and it's got the whole huge dragon and all that. So there's a lot, but just in terms of just like kind of the basic complexity of the build, it's not as complex as like we recently saw with the Lubu, which if you guys saw the live build of that, or just the review, or even just pictures of it, I mean, you can see like it's just got like layers and layers and layers of clear parts and colored parts and plated parts and just like so much stuff. This one's not quite on that level for sure, but it's definitely like a pretty big size and still a lot of parts. So alrighty, let's see. And just so far, I mean, like as far as the fit of everything goes, so far it's been pretty good. Haven't had any issues, anything really giving me too much grief in terms of parts fitting. There are those couple little tiny parts there on the head. I went ahead and put some glue on just to be on the safe side. And then like this part I'm having to like push on just because like it's hard to get my finger in there to push it, but otherwise it's kind of fine. This one though, I think, let's see, can't quite tell which way this goes. I think like that. Maybe. Guess that's right. Okay. Oh. There should be a little tiny part that connects onto here. It's also missing here. D2. I'm gonna guess that's a gold part. It is. Okay. So there's a little gold part, a little tiny gold part that I'm missing. Hopefully, didn't like forget to cut that off the runner or something, in which case it might be gone for good. There's supposed to be a little gold part attached on right here, and for some reason I don't have it. So that too might be another part that we find just there in the box. It might have wandered off somewhere. Apparently going to be a few of those with this kit. Oh my. It's supposed to be like that, right? I'm gonna go ahead and put some glue on this part here too. This part's meant to fit into there, and then this hangs, but it's kind of loose. So just in case, I'm gonna go ahead and glue this too. That's pretty much it. Oh. And that's meant to connect onto the side part. So I surely need that piece because this is meant to connect onto their little hanging piece. So hopefully I can find that. Hopefully it's in here somewhere. Because if not, then that would be unfortunate. Hopefully it's sneaking around there somewhere. So I'm going to leave that off for the time being until we get our legs on there. Hopefully it's just hiding around here somewhere. I also don't really like, so this here between the top and the bottom half, that peg's not loose, but it's not as tight as I feel like I would like that to be. So hopefully that won't be an issue. Usually like this kind of peg connection, it's not like the legs are just gonna like fall off the torso just from like the weight of it. If like the if it was connected onto a base, like the base was connected onto the back, then it might, and if the legs are really heavy, they could just fall off. Like the whole bottom half of the body could fall off. That I have experienced with some kit. I have no idea why. Can't remember whatsoever, but I know I've experienced that before with a kit. Anyway, hopefully that part is around somewhere. Oh yeah, and then we've got all these other parts that connect onto the skirt. Yeah, so we'll worry about that later. I'm going to skip ahead. The arms are next, but I want to put the legs together first, so I'm gonna skip the arms for the moment. Because this manual is like so thick too, I have to really force it to stay open. So it doesn't really matter. This is all ×2 if it's the left or the right side, so it's not gonna matter anyway. So all right. So just regarding, oh, well, here's the one piece that I was looking for, the part for the top of the torso. So we got that. It's a good sign. If I can get this on here, though, is going to be the other problem. So I just dropped it, and now I can't. No, I lost it. It's lost in the sea of black here. Black parts against a black cutting mat. There we go. Okay. We found that one little part. That's a good omen. Hopefully we can find that other little gold piece. There shouldn't be a whole lot of like parts accidentally migrating to a different. Oh no, I guess that's not true. I did take this. I was gonna say normally that happens like if I take a kit home, because then I'm like transporting like this organizer boxes when stuff gets like shuffled around sometimes inside there, which I was thinking I didn't do, but I actually did do. I forgot. I did take this home to work on it like one night last week, I think it was, and then actually didn't actually end up working on it because I had something else I had to do. That's it, huh? Last night, whoo boy. Last night, let me tell you guys, it was HOA meeting night, and it was wild. Actually, it was very, very uneventful. It's kind of a long meeting. So like I got home. My wife and kids like obviously don't go. Just I go. Like I got home and my wife was like, "What took so long?" It was kind of a long meeting. It's like kind of nothing. Like wasn't any particular reason why it was that long. It was just kind of a long meeting. Okay. Get in there. Okay, I see. There you go. Like one little tab on that part there. It's like any of the fits where like it's like a flat tab that fits in, like you can see like these little like rectangular little like spaces here where like the armor pieces like tab into there. I have noticed that like on some of those parts, the hole, this part here, is like it's like a micron like thin. So that means that like when you go to put the parts in, like a lot of times it'll be like kind of tight, like just at first pushing that tab into there. So it's like it's fine. This one's like particularly tight. I don't know why, but anyway, yeah, not a big deal, but anyway, TML asking if it's if somebody filibustered. No, it wasn't even like, well, like the president sort of, but like that's kind of like his job, I guess. Not like filibustering, and like there wasn't even like an issue, like a tumultuous issue necessarily that like people were arguing about or anything like that. It was just like there was just a lot of stuff to go over, basically. We have a fairly new, just in December, the president and vice president switched spots, and our new president, who was previously the vice president of the HOA, it is like he's very keen on making new, not like making new, how can I explain this? Like updating like our documents and stuff, which is good. I'm kind of glad. I like it, but like we have to like go over everything like very formally, which I think is for the better. That's why I said like I'm on board with that. C2, P2 cold. Okay. Like we had like a bunch of things that were like kind of general like guidelines for things, but they weren't. But like what we actually had like documented, it was like pretty vague. It's like, okay, everybody involved with like the committees and stuff knows how this works, but like if it, you know, if we really had to like explain anything from like a legal standpoint, we needed like to be like actually like written down clearly somewhere, rather than just like everybody kind of knows what's going on. So just kind of like as president, he's been kind of like spearheading, like trying to make sure that we have everything like actually documented clearly and all that. I know it's riveting stuff, you guys, but sorry, I'm a big HOA person now. I'm kind of basically like the head of a committee now. All of a sudden, I was like a new member, but then like other members all quit. Like all of a sudden, and I'm like the only one remaining like old member of the committee doesn't really want to be head of the committee, and like there doesn't really need to be necessarily a head of the committee, but the president wants there to be one, and so it might be me. Seems like. Think of it. Sounds like your workplace. Yeah, I mean, like it's very much like a workplace or like a government. Like I was explaining it to my wife, which it's all like new and foreign to me because I didn't grow up in an HOA, and like I never lived in one before these past couple of years. So it's all like new to me, but it's especially new for her as well. And so like when I like explained stuff to her before, she's like, it seems like it's like a government. Yeah, pretty much. It's pretty much just like your own little mini government. So pretty smooth sailing here for the legs thus far. I think one thing that some people might not really love too much about this kit is that it's not very colorful. And I'm assuming that the colors for this are related to like the mythology or like history of the character or whatever, which I don't know anything about, but I'm guessing that's like there's a reason why it's these colors in particular, which I mean, looking at it, I mean, like that's kind of bland looking, just like black and dark gray with a little bit of orange, like a little bit of like that red, orange, and gold on there. You have like a little bit of metallic showing through, but it's not like as like color, like even the Lubu, the one we built previously. Lubu was also like mostly black, but it had all these like metallic bits and clear color bits and all these like things that like really stood out on the design. This one doesn't really have that quite as much. It's also like based around like a black design, but it's been like pretty minimal in terms of like colors we have going on with it. So I think that might be something that people are not too interested in or whatever, but I don't know. What do you guys think? You like the color scheme or no? I guess there could also be people that maybe don't like how colorful some of the other designs are, but I feel like if you, it's interesting, part of the pre-built frame had a little nub that wasn't completely cut off inside there. If you were like a fan of like this type of design, but maybe don't like quite so much like how colorful some of them are, then maybe you like that this one's a little bit less so. Oh, okay. Huh. That's it for the leg. Yeah, that's it. I mean, all right. It's pretty big though too. I would definitely say this is something like 1/72nd scale. Like if we're comparing it to Gunpla, it's not quite as big as a PG, but it's definitely bigger than like a standard MG. Give you guys a look at the size so far. Let's get that other leg put together here real quick. We can get him actually standing up. Speaking of work, I have to run. Thanks for the stream. You're welcome. Thanks for coming, staying high, hanging out for a little bit. We're still on the hunt for that little gold piece for the side skirt. Hoping that will turn up. Alrighty. Let's see. This goes here. I know that. Our thigh parts. That's for the foot. That's for the foot. That's for the leg. Here we go. Foot. All right. I subbed after seeing your profile picture. Former Bonkles fan here. What's Bonkles? Does our USA Gundam Store Apex character look like Bonkles? Whatever that is. I don't know what Bonkles is. Sorry. let's see if this knee part is the same, and if it gives me like the same trouble the other one did. So basically just being a matter of that gap there for the tab is a little snug. Oh, this one was easier. Maybe just because of what I just did to kind of space out that gap a little bit, but whatever the case, it was easier, so that's good. That goes on the back of the foot. That's the top of the foot. All right. Stepped away to watch Chainsaw Man for a minute. Oh. Let's see. I would like the black to be a bit more of a matte finish. Would the gold parts react negatively to matte top coat? Jeremy, if I were you, what I would do if you wanted, certain parts, like for this game in particular, this advice doesn't necessarily apply to everything, just kind of depending on what you're doing. But what you could do is just the black parts that you wanted to be more matte, just spray the parts on the runner beforehand, because most of this kit is undergated. So normally I would not advise spraying anything or painting anything on the runner ahead of time. That's what I mean, except in certain circumstances. And in this case, this is one of those circumstances where if it was just that you wanted certain colored parts to have a different finish, like either matte finish, or if it was different and you wanted them to be more glossy finish, for example, the same thing. You could spray the parts on the runner before cutting them out. Then it's if you tried just spraying top coat over this whole leg, then yeah, that matte top coat would mess with the finish of the gold and the metallic finish on the joints and stuff like that. So it probably would be a much better idea to just spray that runner of the black parts, which I think is a good idea, actually, to be honest. But the other thing to consider too, if you saw my video the other day that I posted here, actually on this channel, the video talking about top coat, then you might have seen that one of the things I talked about, and that is what was it? Oh, panel lining. Yes, so that would be the only issue. So if you wanted to panel line these black parts, you need to do that first before, if you're doing matte top coat, especially. If it's gloss, it doesn't matter. But if you wanted to panel line these in black, in a pure black, because this is just very dark gray, this armor. So you could do a pure black, and that would show up for the panel lining. You need to do the panel lining first, or a gloss coat first, then panel lining, and then matte coat. But anyway, the point is you can't do the matte coat, or you can't do your panel lining over the matte coat. You can, it doesn't really work. So if you're wanting to panel line, or decals as well for that matter, do that first on those parts. And you could do that on the runner too, to be honest. You could panel line the parts on the runner and then spray the whole runner with matte top coat and then just cut them out and put them together. That could work. So that's certainly an option for you. And I think that actually would look really good, because I think with it not being very colorful, instead of making it more colorful, you could at least just play with the finishes. So yeah, I think it's a good idea, because you've got the shiny bits of gold, the shiny metallic parts, and then just kind of the semi-gloss sort of look of just the plastic for maybe the black parts. But then for the red, I don't know, you could kind of go either way. But for some of the parts, especially these dark gray armor parts, would look pretty cool if you went ahead and then just gave those a matte top coat finish. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Pretty good idea. And yeah, it would be pretty simple to do in that way that I just explained. So try it out. If you do try that, send me a photo or something. I'm just kind of curious to see how it turns out. I think that would be a pretty easy way to make this look even better. That part came off kind of too easily. I feel like it's going to keep coming off. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that part there as well. A little loose for some reason. I'm not sure why. The other one too, on the other back of the foot, this gold part here was kind of loose on the other one, but the armor part on top of that did a good job of like just then holding that in place. But in this one, for some reason, this armor part here is also kind of loose. So I'm just going to go ahead and put some glue on that. Just a little bit to just help to kind of hold it in place there. Okay. Haven't seen that video, gotta find out. Yeah, you can check it out. It's just from like literally like just 2 days ago, I think, Wednesday evening that video went up. Just here on this channel, on the USAGTV channel. It's the Gunpla tip video about top coat. So check it out. Some good like kind of basic tips and advice, a little good information for top coating. There's like a few like very common questions that I've seen just, you know, many times over the years. So just kind of put, you know, some simple answers to a lot of the most common questions that I've seen. Put that all together. All right. So there's our legs on. Now we can put these skirt parts on. I'm curious. Yeah, okay. I guess that's supposed to be like that. Don't know if this part's supposed to be like tucked into there or in front of there. Here on the front, get this out of the way. Here on the front skirts, this like side skirt bit's kind of sticking out to the front. I don't know if that's meant to be. You can kind of extend this out a bit. That's meant to be kind of tucked up in to behind this center part. Let me see. I can tell in the photo. Yeah, it does look like it. Okay. Yeah, it looks like that's actually supposed to be up underneath there. So how can I do that? Bear with me a moment, everyone. Well, let's see. Maybe not. Kind of looks like it is on the front, but on the photo on the back, it doesn't look like it is. So I'm not sure. I'm just gonna leave it out like that because that's just kind of how it seems to work. But it's pretty big so far, that's for sure. Yoy! All right. Arms. Oh, yeah, so it's got these. Okay, that's good. It shows you where the skirt armor. I'll put those extra skirt bits on later because that's kind of like a whole thing. Let's just do the arms first. Shinryu said they should drop some lore behind the mythos for us Westerners, but I guess their predominant customer base is well versed. Meaning that like the Chinese folklore or whatever that this design is undoubtedly based on. A lot of people like us here in the West probably wouldn't know. But I'm not sure that you can necessarily assume that most people in China would know. So, I mean, I guess it just depends on like how predominant the mythos is. It might not necessarily be like, you know, something that is that common knowledge. Because there's plenty of like folklore and stuff here in the West. I mean, and then you're just talking about just kind of generally like, I don't know, like European folklore. I'm sure there's plenty that like a lot of Westerners wouldn't know. Or like stuff that's like recognizable as like folklore based without knowing too much about it in detail, kind of thing as well. I think is probably also another fair assumption. Quite a lot of parts here for the arms, but it's basically just because there's a lot of parts for like the shoulders in particular. Like some of these large parts here are all just kind of for the shoulder parts. We got all our hand parts and everything here as well. So, all right. We're meant to take this part out. I guess we'll put that back later. This is the left arm, I guess. F2 is orange, red. Not that one. There's that one there. So, like that. Okay. Oh. Yeah, seems like the actual arm part here is going to be a pretty quick construction, it would seem. Wait. Oh, hang on. I don't think I can swap that. I'm just going to take this part. Putting this on the left arm, but or the right arm, but it should be the left arm. And I thought, well, maybe I can just switch things around, but I don't think so. I'm just going to pop this off if I can. There we go. And left arm. Okay. So that kind of makes more sense. These parts too, on like the top part of the arm, I was putting together thinking like, it seems like it should be like facing the other way, doesn't it? And apparently I was right. So there we go. That's much better a fit. Like that. Okay. F2 is orange red. Z1 dark gray. That's easy. Yeah, as I was saying before, talking about spraying this on the runner, I mentioned briefly there that most everything here is undergated. So yeah, just to reiterate that, in case that was something that you were thinking about doing, or let's see why dark gray. Okay. In case that was something you were considering, or just kind of general information that you like to know. Yes, most everything on this is undergated. So if that matters to you. All right, that's pretty much it for the arm, it would seem. That part of the arm anyway. So anyway, guys, in other Dune news, did you guys see the trailer for? It's just kind of like a slightly different version of the trailer that it was like, I guess, I don't know, it's slightly different, but the video, I guess, they put out is the best way to describe it. The video that they put out for like the 70mm IMAX tickets, with like that being a thing. Interestingly, I saw the news that the 70mm IMAX tickets were sold out before I saw the news that that was even a thing. So I definitely did not get any tickets. Now, see, this part is what's got me a little confused. Because, yeah, when cutting these parts out, there's like in the instructions, it shows there's meant to be like 3 of these little circle bits that plug onto here. But in the actual instructions, so it should be 6 total. There's only 4. And then there's also these, which have like a circle bit with an extra little thing on there. And I don't know where that's meant to go. If it's just like printed wrong in the manual and it's meant to be kind of like that. Because then after that, where are those? J2. White. It's these white parts here. These ones fit over the top of that. Oh, I think it is misprinted in the manual. So that's meant to actually be, let me show you guys, because it's not, it's shown wrong in the manual, I think. I'm going to find out here real quick. So yeah, these little circle bits, there's meant to be like 1, 2, 3 of these attached here. And in the manual, it just shows it as just 3 of these circles. It doesn't show this extra little bit here at the bottom. But so it would mean that there's like, there needs to be 6 of those total, 3 for each shoulder armor. But of just like the plain circle parts, there's only 4. And then there's 2 of these that have the extra little bit on there. But it doesn't show it like that in the manual. So that one goes in the center, pointed down like that, because then these white parts that go over the top of it, like this, on the underside of there, these white parts, aside from the extra little that part, you'll see there's that connection between the white parts. That little tab there is what actually fits into right there. So that is, the parts are designed correctly. It's just that it's printed wrong in the manual. And I think, like, if I can figure it out, I have faith that you guys could figure it out as well. But just showing you here, let me get these parts on here. I'll show you. So like when that goes together, those white parts should fit together like pretty flush, and they fit into this black part here on the back. So just be aware of that. Unfortunately, it's like not shown like that in the manual. So just something to be aware of. I have to drive all the way to like Fort Lauderdale. There's no 70mm theater near here as far as I know. Other than maybe in Orlando, which even there I'm not entirely certain. I'm planning on seeing it at IMAX in Orlando. And so I don't know if it's just like regular IMAX or 70mm. I don't really care. I mean, 70mm I guess would be cool, but yeah, it was all sold out like immediately. So I saw that they were gonna add more, either more locations or more dates or whatever. I'm not sure, but they were gonna add more something. And I've not seen yet an update on that. I like signed up for updates to get updates if there's gonna be more. But I mean, honestly, probably I'll just see it just like the regular IMAX is fine, because I'm sure the 70mm IMAX tickets are probably like even more expensive, and it's like I'm really excited to see it at the movie theater. I'll probably see it more than once, but just seeing it for the cost of how much it's going to be just for like the regular IMAX, I'm sure that'll be more than enough for what I'm wanting to pay like for like the actual IMAX. I'll probably see it once at the IMAX and then once at just like a regular theater after that. And that'll be plenty because of just how expensive even just the regular theater is. So that'd be a lot, but this is actually one of the most complex parts of the build so far. I mean, other than maybe like the head. This part here, which I think is for like the forearm. Yeah, like the back side of the forearm. It's kind of funny. But anyway, yeah, I was gonna say about the new video, like the promotional video they put out about the whole 70mm IMAX thing. So they put out the video about that, which just features basically just like recut, like recut video from the trailer, teaser trailer. But there's a couple of new shots in there, and the new shots in that kind of 70mm IMAX teaser are pretty interesting. There was like a new shot from like the chanting scene where Paul's like pounding his chest with Aaliyah, and then like surrounded by a bunch of Fremen, like at like the start of the chanting bit. There's a new shot like from that scene showing like hate behind him there, like amongst a crowd, which is pretty cool. And then there was a new shot of Aaliyah with a bunch of blood on her face. No idea what that'll ultimately be about, but it was just cool to see more Aaliyah. As far as the book goes, so I'm almost halfway through reading Messiah right now, and just last night got to the part I don't know how much, I mean, I don't know if it's necessarily like a spoiler, but anyway, I got to the part for anybody that's familiar with it. I'll try to kind of say very simply as to not like give anything away, but like kind of hate and Aaliyah's first like close interaction, we'll say. And that was interesting. A little odd. If you know what I mean. I bought 5 tickets for the Super Mario movie. It cost me $80 for Super Mario Galaxy. Really? Yeah, that's a lot. Do you keep notes while building the kit for your review, or just remember? Yeah, I don't take notes. Usually just remember, and I feel like if it's something that was like particularly like noticeable to me, then it usually kind of sticks in my mind like well enough. But if it ultimately ends up being something that like I forget by the time I get around like to making the review, then I feel like then that kind of means that it probably wasn't all that memorable and maybe not worth pointing out anyway. Another like little loose bit here. I wonder if I kind of get the sense that I wonder if maybe for some of the gold bits they intentionally designed the parts to be a little bit looser, just because they know that like the coating process, and like we've had this with different kits. Once the parts are plated, that kind of makes them a little too tight. So I wonder if they did that on purpose in order to make it so that the plated parts weren't too tight. They intentionally designed them to be slightly looser, so that like as far as like the runners go, so then once the coating, the plating, the gold plating was added, then it will be like, then the fit will be right. But I think they kind of did it like a little too much, is kind of the sense that I'm getting, because everything else like fits really well. The only time that I'm noticing anything that's like a little bit loose, it's the gold part. And so that would be my best guess, is that was kind of designed like that on purpose, but a little bit too much. What do you guys think? Does that make sense? It sounds right in my mind, so could be. How's that supposed to fit on here, though? Okay, apparently it does. I gotta say, like these parts for like that forearm guard part and this part for the shoulder are by far some of the most complicated bits of the entire assembly so far, which is kind of interesting. Ew. Now that we have actual carbon fiber decals of different scales, I'm eager to see you play around with them. They're black and gray, so perhaps clear colors can be used as filters. Oh, that's true. Yeah, you could. What like product specifically are you talking about? Because I know that like carbon fiber, HIQ has made I don't know if they're still making them, or at least they used to make. HIQ used to make carbon fiber like film. It's basically like a sticker that you could cut to shape and apply to your parts or whatever. But if it's anything other than that, I'm not aware of it. I know of just the HIQ stuff. So if there's a specific product, you can tell me or send a link or something like that. I'll take a look at it. Interesting. Get on there. Yeah. No. Come on now. This red part needs to like rest. Oh, I wonder, can I do like this? Okay, maybe. Let's see. Okay, yeah, that's good. Okay. Mia and MadWorks currently have them. Ah, okay. Yeah, I'll check it out. Oof. I don't know. I'd have to think about what I might like to use something like that on. The carbon fiber material. I don't know, like offhand. It's like stuff like that is really hard to use. Like in general, has been my experience anytime I've ever used anything like remotely like that in the past. But especially just like on anything that's like more of like a detailed surface. And so like usually it's best to use on like kind of more like open surface area parts, or like just use it on like select parts. So I'd have to think about like where would be a good spot to use something like that. Okay, bunch of hand options here. My hope is that all these hand covers are the same and they're not like different for each individual hand. It would seem like that's the case, so thankfully. It seems like the only difference with these hand option parts is that some are for the left side and some are for the right side, but as long as I've got them all separated here for the right side, then it should be all good. Oof. The wrist joint's not really the tightest, it would seem. It's our weapon holding hand here too. Okay. Oops. I don't have those swaps, do I? I think that I do. Figured that there was no difference between the two of them, but I think I have those swapped. Let's see. Maybe. Not entirely sure. But it does seem like maybe that's a better fit. Okay. End option parts. And shoulder. And arm. Let's put on arm. Ooh, he's a big boy. Look at that. It's getting pretty big and chunky. Oh my. Yes. All right. Shoulder, arm, and arm. Right. Okay. Hello, armored meat. How's it going? Welcome. We're pretty well into this build now. Let's see. With this arm being the last part of like the main body, then before we get to the backpack and the weapons, and that's it. Actually. And the weapons too, also going to be a pretty quick section as there's not a lot. It's got like a funky book and what else did it have? There's like some plastic in my mouth. It's like a funky scroll book thing that it's got, and then it had some other weapon thingy too. What was that? Like a spear or something. Still on the hunt for that missing gold piece for the skirt armor. Sure hope that I didn't forget to cut that off the runner and threw the runner away. That would not be good. But it is possible. Wouldn't rule it out of the realm of possibility. Woke up too late to catch the beginning. Oh, that's fine. You're all right. You can always go back and watch it if you're interested in seeing how it went. But basically, for the first couple minutes, there's nothing to hear at all because I was muted and I didn't even realize it. So skip past that part. It's embarrassing. And then after that, see, what did we do? I don't know. Basically, we were just working on building this kit. I did also let you guys know, too, didn't I? That at the end of this live stream, I'll give you an early head start with the knowledge of what the next contest is going to be, because that is going to get announced later today. But I'll give you guys a little head start by letting you know what it is early. And it's not really going to be that much of a head start, but the extra few hours difference could pay off. Oh no. So that's that. Working on MG Turn A right now and loving it. Nice. It's a fun kit. Actually, I need to build one of those myself. Not really need to. I mean, it's not like it's not pressing, but got one that I can build when the time is right. I've built it before, but another one. Built it and reviewed it, and maybe you guys might have seen at the moment there's a bit of a trend on Japanese Twitter. Turn A for what I think is like the 30th anniversary. So all of a sudden from yesterday, just seeing loads and loads of Turn A stuff all throughout Japanese Twitter over there. People sharing lots of art, like just Turn A, like fan art and stuff, as well as model kits and all that too. So if you're a Turn A fan, it's a good time to be on Twitter. Which, yeah, I mean, people talk. I've talked about this many times, but like, people talk about Twitter just being like awful. But personally, I find it to be the social media platform that I probably spend the most time on, just because I just like to see all the models, art, and stuff on there. I mean, like, if you curate it right, I don't see any of like the nonsense that would rightfully make you just be very quickly sick of the platform. I just have it curated so that I just don't see any of that. All I see is just models and art and stuff. So a little photography here and there. It's good stuff. Oh, you know what? I think I might have to go back. Might have to go back here in a minute. Is this part going to be loose again? Surprisingly not that loose, but just in case. It was loose on the other one, so safe to assume it might be loose again here, so just in case. Any plans on picking up that third-party Turn X? I haven't seen a third-party Turn X. Is there a third-party Turn X kit coming out? I've not seen anything about that. East Asian X is the real X experience. Oh, yes. First, they were talking about like a East Asian Turn X. I'm like, wait, what? Because there's one comment about the third-party Turn X, and the next one is about East Asian X. Wait, I realized you're talking about Twitter, right? I still just call it Twitter. I don't know if I ever will not just call it Twitter. At this point, I think it's equal parts like just habit as well as just out of spite to Elon Musk, just not to give the satisfaction of ever calling it anything other than Twitter. Hang on just a second, guys. I got to take this phone call. Okay. Apologies, guys. That was my CPA letting me know my taxes are done. Just in the nick of time. But they did not let me know if I owe, well, I put it this way. It didn't let me know how much money I owe, because I'm sure I owe money. I don't want to spoil my Friday. So I'm kind of glad they didn't mention it. I'll just wait and find out when I go on Monday. This part also keeps wanting to fall out, this like kind of vent part here. Yeah, it's all the gold parts. That's my guess, is that they intentionally designed the gold parts in a way so that they knew that that plating would make those tight, so they designed them in a way to be a little bit looser, just in case. And that actually, I think, was not, I mean, like, it's a good idea, but they just did it a little too much. So that's a shame. It's not that bad. I mean, just as you've seen, just a couple of parts here and there. I've just put a little bit of glue on, especially just like for my purposes. I think like if you were wanting to build this kit, just to build it and put it on your shelf, I wouldn't even really bother me. Maybe glue some of the parts just to be safe. But like for me, because I need to do the review, I need to handle the kit, I need to move it around and pose it over and over, stuff like that. So I don't need those parts falling out and getting lost and me having to find them on the floor and do all that. I'm good on that, so I'm just gonna prefer to glue those parts in that case. So I thought you were gonna go on there without a hitch. All right, so there's our shoulder armor. But we've got all these parts left over, because I think on the part of the build for building like the forearm guard part, that was supposed to be ×2 and wasn't like revisited. Here, the manual. I just need to go back here for a second. Yes. Okay. Hema model N-verse wing. Is that it? There's a version with effect parts for the wings too. Oh, okay. Let me check it out. You know, when it comes to like the third-party kits and stuff, I mean, I prefer when they're just original designs. I mean, the ones like, I mean, we've seen some really good ones lately, like the Python, which is like based off the Serpent, the Axis Works kit based off the Kashatra. I mean, like we've seen just like some really cool ones lately, where they're, you know, based off of mobile suit designs that I really like, and the kits are really nice and all that, but I still just prefer, you know, personally, I like when they just do like original stuff, like stuff like this. That's one of the reasons why I really like and always like recommend people. SNA kits are great. The Chic mainland kits are great. Not only because just like the quality of the kit is good, but also because they're original designs, which is nice. Why is this not going on there? Oh, I have it upside down. That's why. I mean, we have seen kits where it's like an original design, but you kind of get the sense that it might be like AI designed. There's been a few that I've seen, and I was like, I kind of wonder if that was actually designed by a person, or if that's like an AI design that then was just like turned into a model kit. I'm not sure. There's been a couple of those that kind of gave me pause, kind of made me wonder for a second, but I'm not sure. I think this gauntlet armor part here actually has like a mouth here, so this is like for the side of the arm. This actually is meant to kind of like open up like that, or I guess that you can open this up, and I guess that's maybe supposed to be like little laser beams that are supposed to shoot out of there or something, I guess. But it's kind of cool. All right, and I forgot this little part here on the end of the shoulder armor. Oof. Thought that was gonna like fly off across the room. Okay, just making sure that you're on there good and tight. Thank you. Oof. Yeah, I mentioned earlier about how the joint between the basically the top half of the kit and the bottom half, between the torso and the waist section, is a little loose, and yeah, I'm definitely noticing that now that everything's on here and the kit's getting real heavy. That is worrying me a little bit, and I think it's going to be one of those things where like once it's up on a base, I don't think it'll necessarily maybe be an issue, but at the moment, like this here. This joint here between the top and bottom half is just a little bit loose. It's making me a little worried there about that. With that, the main body's done. I kind of like how, I'll show this to you better here in just a second, but like as an assembled kit, just something about like the design, it almost looks like a temple, like come to life. Imagine if like some like a Chinese style like temple or shrine or something like transformed, or like got transformed into some like massive mecca and then came alive. It's kind of like how it looks to me. This one goes like that, right? Getting these other hand parts here together real quick, and I'll show you guys. They were all fun. Oh, let's see. What? Just finished watching your USA Gundam Store or USA Gundam TV episode you recorded earlier. Yes, the live stream from earlier today. Dinosaurs, Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, Extreme Dinosaurs, Jim Henson's Dinosaurs, Denver the Last Dinosaur, and many more. I don't remember Denver the Last Dinosaur. I'm sure if I look it up, I'll know what it is. They're all fun dinosaur themed series. Yeah, Extreme Dinosaurs was one I maybe saw, but I don't really remember that much. Extreme Dinosaurs, with that being like kind of like a dinosaur version of Street Sharks, right? And to be fair, even like Dinosaurs was the one that I was kind of on about. Even that one, I mean, like, look at this. I just opened my phone here. I'm on Twitter. I just come across like this custom build. It's like a Gustav Karl mixed with like the Hazel Icarus unit. That's pretty wild. I mean, it's great to just see stuff like that. That's why I love Twitter. Anyway, what is it? Yeah, Jim Henson's Dinosaurs. Yeah, I mean, that was fun. That's the Not the Mama one, right? And then Denver the Last Dinosaur. Yeah, that's one I don't know if I know that. Denver the Last Dinosaur. Yeah, it looks like vaguely familiar, but it's definitely not one that I ever watched much, if any at all. I mean, like, it's... But it looks like kind of like a vibe. It looks like it certainly is a vibe. But I mean, it kind of reminds me just like a little bit of like the real Ghostbusters kind of. Except I don't, just like looking at these pictures of it, it doesn't look like it really has much of like what the Ghostbusters has as far as like, you know, they bust ghosts or whatever. I don't know what they do in this show. They just have adventures with their dinosaur friend. I don't know. I wish that Bandai would release more pilot figures in the Figurized standard line and not just the females. Yeah, I know, that would be cool. Which, speaking of contests, so this is not going to be the contest this time, not the contest theme this time, but for a future contest, Figurized standard might be a theme for a future contest. So just to let you guys know, that was actually just recently being discussed on my Discord. We were just talking about that. Okay, backpack. I was gonna keep this here, but all here, just to show you guys. It kind of has that look, sort of, right? Can you kind of see what I mean? It looks sort of like if like a temple came to life, sort of, right? Not necessarily came to life, but just became a giant mecha. I don't know. Oof, certainly heavy. I sure hope that between how loose I can feel that waist connection kind of feeling, and then just like kind of generally just how heavy the kit is, I really hope that the base is going to do a good job of holding that up, because I'm kind of a little worried about the weight issues that the kit might have. We shall see. So backpack is next. Just going to add more weight to the upper half of the body. But as I said before, another cool thing that you can do with this, and man, I'm getting kind of worried that that little gold piece that I'm missing for the skirt section is not here. Getting a little concerned. Doesn't look like it's here. At least I'm pretty certain it's gold. Maybe I'm just looking for the wrong color. All right. architectural inspired. Yeah, I mean, it does kind of look like that. That waist bit, that was D2. The D2 runner was gold. Yep. So there's a little gold piece that I seem to be missing. Let's see. It's D2 part 6. Let's see. D2. Where is it? Okay. Part 6. I'm sure I would have cut that part off. Let's see. Is that not here? Seriously? Just looking at where that is on the runner, like there's no way that I would have missed that. It's not like, cause like sometimes there's parts that are like on the runner and it's like kind of molded in a way that it kind of is disguised like amongst the runner. But my only other concern is that I wonder if it maybe fell off the runner. I'll have to go back and look at my unboxing video of that. I'll have to look around for it. I don't see it. It might be MIA. All right, backpack. Let's do some backpack. Oof, that's kind of dangerous. G1 gray. That meant to go right here. Okay. And then E4. Oh, that's okay. That's supposed to go first. All right. Interesting. Okay. J10. J1. It's also gold. Do this one here. Ooh. And L1. Oh my. Interesting. All right. As I said before, the backpack and weapons section here aren't really, not really expecting them to take a whole lot. I think that's done with that, right? Okay, yeah. So if you guys have any other like specific questions or anything you're kind of wondering about this kit, other than just kind of generally how's the construction of it, do let me know now, as we're going to be done here pretty soon with this. Kind of looks like a lot of parts here maybe, but there's not too much left at this point. Yeah, and then there's the whole dragon section of this, which is a kind of a whole other thing too. So that is, as I said at the start of the stream, the dragon I will not be live building. I'm building that separately, and I'm working on that. Kind of like, I wouldn't say halfway done, because there's still quite a bit, all like the legs and everything. I have like the heads, which there's 2 different head options, and then like the body, kind of like the main body, just like like 18 sections that you have to repeat. So it's very tedious. E1 is green. Okay. Or is it? Because where the heck are those parts? Oh, okay. Uh-huh. E, F. E1 was okay. Just trying to save myself the trouble looking around for these parts if I can know what color they're supposed to be. It's kind of helpful. The blue looks like a teal. Yeah, it's definitely like a teal. I think it's made. I think it's meant to look like a jade sort of color, right? But yeah, it's definitely a teal, very teal kind of color. Yeah, for sure. Wait a minute. What was the right one? It's meant to look like little claws here, I guess, for this little bit. Where's that piece? There we go. E8. Wait. Blue. Where's that piece? Huh? Yo. Oh. silly. There's still more parts that I've not gotten out of the box here. Should probably do that. Oh no, wait, those are, oh yeah, those are not for that, that's for something different. Okay, everything should be here. Never mind. This is this part upside down. Runner. And then got these little bird legs here on the bottom because, yeah, as I said earlier, this part does transform. The backpack can transform into a bird by combining it with parts from the skirt. And this part, oh, that goes with this. Okay. Like that. That's then meant to fold over like that. Ooh, it's quite the click there. And then, okay. Darn. This is one of those parts. Oh man, this is frustrating. So this part here is meant to fit down into there, and you can see how this side is further down in there, and this one's not pushed all the way down. It's because there's pegs that it fits onto. But if you don't have the pegs perfectly aligned, then it's not going to push down. So you need to like take it off and try again. But it's hard to get off because there's nothing really to grab to. And it's hard to push from the other side because there's no hole or anything going through to push it out from the other side. Fortunately, I was able to just pull out with my teeth. But I don't like having to do that. You have to have these just aligned just so. Yeah, and I missed it again. There's two. Let's see how many attempts it takes before I can get this on here. Oh, come on. Okay, got it. Third time's the charm. Okay. So then these wing parts fit on here, or more realistically fit on here. Like a lot more color going on the backpack than there is anywhere on the actual kit. And again, they don't mention this in the manual, but it feels like this part sticking up here needs to fit through that gap there. The way they show it in the manual is that like this part is still folded down like that, but if it's folded down like that, this won't fit on top. So that needs to be sticking up like that so it can fit through this gap, and then that should be able to close up. So that's, well, I don't know. the second or third like small noticeable thing in the manual that is not quite right, and I feel like could cause issues for people if they don't immediately figure that out. That should be E1. Oh, it's gray. Okay. That's why. And then that goes here. Mm-hmm. This notch on the top. All right. Is that? Ooh, still a little bit more of the backpack here to go. Let's see. The top. What? Really? That doesn't seem right. Really? That seems weird. Oh, come on. Like that? Okay. Yep, there's this part sticking up. As we figured it would. Whoa, what? Interesting. Okay. Very odd. Okay. Oh, is this our little bird head here for this thing? Seems so. Or something like that. So that's gonna fit into here. Oh, well, I guess it's not like a, well, maybe. Sort of like a bird head, kind of. It's going to be at some point. Or yeah, kind of. Maybe. Those do have a particular way. I mean, it's pretty cool looking. Like that. It's coming along. Mr. Butterfingers? What? Can't call me that. Oh, no, that was right. All right. That's not ×2, right? Okay, no. This one? Yes. And not that one. This one. More golden wings. Oh my. Oh, okay. It's like for like the tail. Okay. Oh my. So much gold and color. It's kind of it's gonna be a bit weird having the main body being like all like black. With like little bits of red and gold, and the backpack being so ornamental in comparison. All right. So first, this here. Oops. Nope. That goes on the back. This is going to finally be... Uh-oh. What is that? Hang on. Hang on a minute. There's a problem. Not a big problem, but a small one. And one that I think I can fix pretty easily here. So inside here, there's a little bit, if you can see between the gray and the gold piece, there's that little bit inside there. It's just like a little, it's not exactly like flash, but on the opposite side has it too. It's a little bit like sticking up on the inside of there, and that's just making it so that this gray part, when it goes in, is not able to fit in flush because of that extra little bit sticking up on the inside. So need to cut that down. It's from like the mold pins. So cutting that down means that gray part can fit flush inside there. You can kind of see the difference between the two, right? So this other one's going to be hard to take apart. I'm going to try to just cut that out without having to take the whole thing apart. Carefully. There we go. There. Much better, right? Yes, I think so. Okay. Easy. pretty much. And then, I mean, I gotta say, the backpack looks pretty wild and like almost kind of like all like the gold and I don't know, the red, almost like, and just like the shape of it kind of gives me almost sort of like a Mayan, Incan sort of like vibe, like feeling, no, something sort of like that as well. So I think that this would be kind of so it's just making me think like it would be interesting to see a Mayan or Incan sort of like type of design as like a model kit as well. It'd be pretty cool. All right, so this is our backpack connection piece. Oh man, I don't know, this tiny little bit is our backpack connection piece, which is meant to hold this pretty large backpack onto our pretty large and heavy kit. And I'm not certain I feel real confident about that, but let's see. It also holds it very close to the kit, and like the shoulders are kind of clashing with the backpack there. I mean, it's kind of interesting how from the front, basically all that green on the backpack is not really visible because it's all kind of in the center, which is now just like behind the torso. But it does look pretty cool there. Here's on the back. Definitely going to make it back heavy as well. So like I said, I think we're gonna really need to hope that the base does a good job of holding this thing up, because he's heavy and the weight is kind of like all over the place. All right. So skipping past all the dragon bits here to the very end, we'll get these weapons together, and then that'll be it for today. Weapons and this like scroll box thing that it has. I would be interested to know what's like the legend or the mythos, as someone said earlier, behind this. It would be kind of interesting to know what's the deal with his box and like golden scroll. I don't know, maybe it's a whole thing, but it's a shame that apparently, at least for the moment, I do seem to be missing that part for the waist. So I will have to see if I can't find it somewhere. Don't know where. I don't think it's on the floor here. And if it was on the runner, then it's definitely gone, because those runners went out with the recycling today. So, maybe I wonder if I could like scratch build something for that. What is that? All right. This. It's quite the intricate handle here for the sword. But what is that piece here that fits into? Like that. And flip that around. And the other thing that I kind of haven't really been mentioning much about, but aside from like different option parts and things you have with this, another thing that we have included, which certainly bears mentioning, would be just the effect parts, which we've got a bunch of those too. Oh, interesting. Quite the sword, meant to look like kind of a big jade sword, I think, right? Like I was saying, this teal blue, I think it's meant to look very jade. Looks really nice. It is. Then there are a couple of these two little parts here that are actually plated like metallic green. I wonder if those are meant to look like jade or like meant to look like emerald, sort of maybe there in amongst the jades. It's kind of similar color though. It's kind of hard to tell. That's actually the end of the sword handle. And so that, okay, just, well, this is meant to plug onto here, right? Here. Plug that onto the side skirt. So there's our sword. Pretty wild. Yikes. Has USAGTV store shipped via Amazon, or is this something new? So yeah, shipping via Amazon is something new. We started about a month ago doing that. And it seems to be pretty good, but of course, if you have thoughts on that, let us know. I mean, just like regarding your experience with like Amazon as the shipping fulfillment company, but like nothing else is done with Amazon other than just like they pick up our packages and deliver them. Everything else is still here, everything's still packed here. Like Amazon doesn't do anything else other than just pick the stuff up and take it where it needs to go. This is the jade seal unit, this little thingy. And this is the bamboo slips unit. Oh. So like this, I'm sure this has some kind of, like both of these items have some kind of relevance to the mythos, but I have no idea. And this, even this scroll, the bamboo slips unit, has this big, huge effect part here with like this phoenix flying out of that, like that. So yeah, I don't know what the significance is, but I'm sure it's something. Anyway, and then this little thingy. But yeah, that's it for like the weapons. It's basically just got this massive sword, which is very, very big. It is just about the same height as the kit itself, counting like up to the tips of the backpack there, like in terms of head height. So I mean, it's going to be a pretty big sword he's got there. All right, so that's it for the main kit. Then the dragon, like I said, is a whole other thing. It's a shame that I seem to have misplaced that little part. I'm gonna see if I can't find it. If it's not somewhere around here, I don't know. Hopefully it is. A little part to connect this little dangly thingy onto his skirt section. It's possible it's just like around here. My desk is a bit messy at the moment. Or it might have like fallen off in the box or something. I'll like look through here a bit more. Look around on the floor. Got like some more flame effect parts and stuff here. At a glance, I don't see it, but I'll look for that some more. Hopefully I can find it. Here's one of the bases that you have. So you have this massive base here that the kit's meant to just be able to like stand on. Let me switch. Well, I'm kind of fine doing just like that, but here we go. Okay, yeah, like that. You can just see how big this is. You have that base, or this one, which I've not put this onto here, which is just kind of like a standard base. But this also seems like pretty, for how big and heavy that kit is, this seems kind of puny. Like the actual base plate is very large because the kit is big, so it makes sense. I mean, like, and this is even bigger. It's massive. But then, like, this is pretty big to fit onto there. I mean, we'll see how well it works, but I am slightly concerned. We'll see. I think it might be one of those cases, like, where the base will be good for just making sure the kit doesn't fall over, but I would be a little worried about like being actually like elevated, and that'd be a little scary. Then you even got your, these are then the bases for holding up the dragon. You have like a few of these. There's 4 of these like little circle things, and then like these connection bits that go on that. This is meant to hold up the dragon too, which also seem like a little flimsy. We'll see. We will see next week, so stay tuned for that. That's it for the live build for now. I was just going to show you guys one more time just like kind of what the dragon head looks like. Oh, where are we? I'm just right here. I'm used to having like the 2 cameras, but like, so that's how that looks. And then so this is just like held up on the base, kind of connects up underneath some of there like that for holding up the dragon. So yeah, we'll test it out and we'll see. I don't know, could work. So I gotta finish up the dragon, then I'll work on that review for you guys and I'll let you know. So that's it for the live stream today. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a good weekend, and remember, next Saturday is build day here, as well as Gunpla Workshop with me. And then next week is also the Apex 10th birthday sale, big sale here. So look out for that as well. You guys already know all the details about it. 20% off the first 200 order. No, the first 500 orders of $200 or more. Get an extra goodie bag of stuff. 15 random orders, getting an extra like birthday box, and then also we have giveaway, which is other like kits to give away as well. So it's a whole bunch of stuff to give away, whole bunch of discounts. So yeah, check it out. See you guys.